Iran has reportedly launched over 300 ballistic missiles towards Israel, population centers as well. This is a little bit problematic because, I mean, here's an apartment building that's on fire. And one of the reasons this is problematic is because about an hour before this particular strike right here, Israeli officials, senior military officials, said that if Iran strikes our population centers, we will strike your population centers and regime targets in the capital of Tehran if you hit our population centers. We did just have 9 hits in Tel Aviv and elsewhere, reports of explosions inside of Jerusalem and Tel Aviv, these being the largest reports that we're seeing right now. There are also reports of potential fire near the Negev Nuclear Research Facility. This is pretty well in the desert out here in Israel, so away from population centers. This feels a lot more like a tit-for-tat kind of attack, where if there are indeed fires outside or even at this nuclear facility, it would sound like a reasonable tit-for-tat, especially since we are now getting reports that, and here's another potential military compound that was hit inside of Tel Aviv. Personally, I kind of think like they almost want this crappy kind of building to be hit because it literally says military area. Like it's the most obvious kind of dilapidated military infrastructure I feel like you have here in Tel Aviv. But anyway, there's also now talk that the Israeli military has taken out the Esfahan nuclear facility. That would be right here. This, very much like the Natanz nuclear facility, has very large, rocky landscaping right next to it, which seems like it would be ideal for some form of tunneling or bunkering of some form, just like we saw at the Natanz nuclear facility. So reports now from Israel that this facility has been destroyed, which would be on top of the Natanz facility, which we saw yesterday. And speculated that there were bunkers under here, which of course then we saw the Israeli, renderings of deep bunkers underneath that particular facility. Now Iran has struck back with 300 ballistic missiles. Again, about 9 impacts expected on the ground. One of those, that apartment building, some of them reported to be streets, others reported to be, potentially causing fires outside of some of the Israeli nuclear facilities. So not ideal that, obviously some munitions got through the Israeli defense system. It'd be nice not to see that happen, but it happens. Remember that the munitions that are used in the short-range system are put together by I think it was Raytheon. They're the we'll pull it up here. The Tamir missile. It costs about $40,000. It is a guided missile, and it is right here, put together by Raytheon, an RTX business. Iron Dome system and Sky Hunter missile. Costs about $30,000 to $40,000 a piece. They do say they're supposed to be about 90% accurate. And in fairness, out of 300, you would potentially expect 30 impacts. There are reports of 9, so a little bit better than advertised, I suppose. However, it's possible that this apartment building could have led to some casualties. So far, the Israeli media, and you have to take it with a little bit of a grain of salt, but the Israeli media is suggesting, we're just treating 4 people for anxiety, 4 people for minor injuries, and 1 person for a more serious or moderate injury is what they're claiming. So again, take some of the sort of propaganda with a grain of salt, but obviously we could see, some of the impacts here and actual practical damage that's being caused. Mind you, this also ties along with what Israel shared with their over 200 jet strike against Iran. And this is that Natanz nuclear facility. And I just want you to see that bunker because as we were just talking about the Esfahan nuclear facility and we saw the sort of like rocky landscaping surrounded by walls, just like this one at Natanz, this is obviously that 3D rendering where Israel's propaganda is telling us that, yes, there are centrifuges under there. Now, could there be? Yeah, I mean, there probably are, okay? The facility has, an outer wall, an inner wall. Yes, they probably have nuclear enrichment facilities underneath the dirt. So, I'm willing to believe that. Am I willing to believe that only 4 people are, being treated for anxiety? No, obviously, that's a convenient thing to say. But let's be real, you know, Israelis knew this counterattack was coming, and they go into bomb shelters. They have bomb shelters for this purpose, and that's a good thing. That's how you minimize the loss of life, right? That said, that strike, that missile that got through, we caught that live, and it was really quite intense to see it live. So I'm just going to go ahead and play that live. I posted this on X. You can follow me there at RealMeatKevin. But this was the live. You know, these are your longer range interceptors, I believe, in this clip, and your longer range interceptors. Your longest range interceptors, which would likely be these over here going off into the distance, those longer range ones are usually called your Arrow 2 and your Arrow 3 system. Colloquially, all of these systems are considered part of the Iron Dome, but technically the Arrow 2, Arrow 3 systems are separate. Then you have the medium range David Sling, and then you have the short range Iron Dome, which are usually your Tamir missiles. Like this. This is probably a Tamir missile right here. However, they're not perfectly accurate, especially at short range, because things come in very quick once you're at a short range level. So as soon as you start seeing the Iron Dome come in, you're getting closer to, you know, like an actual strike. And that's exactly what happened here. Pay attention to this side, the left side of the building here, and you'll see this was the big impact. What we believe is likely the impact against this particular apartment building here. It does look like finally that fire is being extinguished. Took probably about 30 to 40 minutes for firefighters to get up there and fight that fire. So it does look like they were actually able to get up. Staircases hopefully not collapse to get in there. Hopefully the building doesn't collapse, obviously. But take a look at this here.
Get off the sticks. All right, let's go. Time to go.
Oh, no way! Oh! Okay. Oh, crap!
Guys, come on, everyone move. Everyone move now. Stay with us, stay with us. Pick up the gear.
Oh, wow. Play that again there.
Yaniv, get ready to pull it off the stick. Get off the sticks. All right, let's go. Time to go.
Oh, no way! Oh! Okay. Oh, crap!
Guys, come on, everyone move. Everyone move now.
So that was the sort of live moment of that impact. Other things that we're hearing is, you know, Israel's asking people not to share exact locations. I mean, at this point, like the Kira, you know, impact rumor is pretty popular. There's talk about UK jets scrambling. So the British Royal Air Force. There is talk about the United States Air Force getting involved, to be confirmed. Axios is reporting that the United States is involved. Israel is trying to keep under wraps exactly where some of these locations are because they think Iran is watching and sort of calibrating some of their, you know, targeting based on what they see on social media. U.S. jets returning over Saudi Arabia to Qatar. So it sounds like potentially the attack may be over at the moment. British jets just now, seconds ago, being reported to also being reported back or returning back to where they came from. So it sounds like the 300 rocket launch response counterstrike by Iran is over. There's now talk about injuries at the Nevatim Air Base. I may be saying that a little bit wrong. I do have coordinates of that air base. And so there's a report of injuries of this. Obviously, we don't know exactly where the impacts are, but there are reports of injuries here. So I would assume that there were impacts over here. Keep in mind also the Iron Dome is really designed to protect civilian areas. So it's very likely that some of these airstrips, you know, you've got runway 25 over here. That looks like a, quad prop plane right here. Runway 25 over here. What do we have on this side? We got some taxiways. I mean, this is a pretty big airport. Runway 26 right here. I've got 26 left, 26 right. So this is a 3-runway airport. Multiple taxiways and facilities here. We've got multiple what look like military aircraft. There are reports of fires at this facility right now, as well as injuries that are just now coming through. And just to show you kind of where this airbase is, it's actually not too far away from where we saw that nuclear facility, research facility that was hit from, you can now see flashlights there just to the left. I see those flashlights in the windows over there. That's wild. So you got firefighters in there probably looking you know, for well, either hotspots or, you know, any life that needs to be saved, whether animals or people or whatever. Netanyahu's still quiet. Israeli Kira headquarters hit twice. Again, British and U.S. jets now returning. We did get a lot of footage here of the impact. Here's another footage shot. Oh, wow. Those defense round shot angles are awesome. Let's play that again. Look at that. Oh, no way. Oh, hold on. I hear myself in the background. So this is the problem with X. It just keeps looping your own video over and over again. I mean, I guess that's one way for Elon to pitch that you get more views on X, but come on, man. It's also annoying. All right. So, wow. That's really cool, seeing the defense munitions. Wow. I don't think we have those in my city. Imagine just like you're going to walk and you walk by these things. Oh! Wait, let's see that. Oh, wow, look at that. Look how fast that sucker comes in there. Can I slow this down? It looks like a comet. Here we go. Here we go. Oof! Oh, wow. Yikes. That's crazy close. That's an amazingly close shot. Oh, as I say, we haven't heard anything from Netanyahu. Netanyahu, we have taken out a large portion of Iran's ballistic missile arsenal. You know, one of the benefits of Iran firing missiles is you can see where they're firing the missiles from. The thing that Iran does is Iran hides a lot of their missile launchers in tunnels, and then they kind of roll them out when it's time to attack. So they'll roll the missile launchers out, and then they just pop up out of nowhere. And so it's a little harder for the Israelis or, you know, whomever else to identify exactly where these rocket launches are going to come from. So that does make things a little bit more challenging for the Israelis. There is now also talk about potentially Israeli citizens trapped under a collapsed building in Tel Aviv. That's not good. The Iranian attack has ended. Israeli medical staff are responding. Israel announces the destruction of the Isfahan facility. We did cover that. Expect strikes in Iran shortly. So now expect, I mean, we've already seen U.S. and British jets pull back. We would now expect another strike from Iran from Israel against Iran. Israel is prepared to respond by attacking Iran's refineries in the Persian Gulf. Okay, that's going to hit oil prices again a little bit. Second retaliation from Iran has concluded. Third is probable. Israel will now conduct analysis to decide the response. Iranian media reporting the beginning of the fourth wave of the Iranian attack. TBD if we're actually going to get a fourth wave here. But now talk is that all eyes are on the Persian Gulf, waiting to get more updates. So that's currently the latest of the actual strikes that just hit.